What is this? Oh yeah, I saw this. Drag queen Pattie Gonia asks apparel company Patagonia to drop trademark infringement lawsuit. It sucks, but it kind of seems like she just flew too close to the sun with this one a little bit. Drag queen and environmentalist Pattie Gonia asked the outdoor apparel company Patagonia to drop its trademark infringement lawsuit, saying it could lead to the erasure of the activist name and advocacy. Patagonia filed a federal lawsuit against Wynne Wiley, Pattie Gonia's real name, in January. The company alleged the drag queen had moved away from, quote, discreet use of a persona to engage in activism to a wide-ranging commercial enterprise when Wiley filed a trademark application seeking exclusive rights to Pattie Gonia for apparel marketing at events. It kind of like, how can the name Patagonia be copyrighted? It's literally the name of a geographic region. But she didn't stop with the name, is the thing. She was like selling merch that was a riff on Patagonia's brand logo. So it kind of seems like she flew a little bit too close to the sun on that one. Also, she was sued for $1. Like they just wanted her to stop. I still think it's dickish of Patagonia, but it's kind of like, yeah, there we go. See in the red box right up here? You get it. If you're doing like a riff on a company, you have to be careful, right? Not a big deal. That's even more cringe to sue for $1. Well, it shows they're not looking to fleece her for money. They're like trying to press her to stop using their, it's $1 plus legal fees. Well, okay, yeah, but the point from Patagonia is that she doesn't fight the lawsuit. You don't have to pay any legal fees if you just don't fight the lawsuit, right? Like they're not trying to fleece her for millions or whatever. They're just trying to protect their patent. I'm not saying it's not dickish. I'm just saying it's not like a big deal, you know? What if she doesn't pay the dollar? Well, then there might be trouble. I don't know. Also, companies have to sue for trademark incidents like this, or they lose the right to sue for bigger violations in the future. Yeah, it's a stupid consequence of American trademark law. You need to continuously defend your copyright, because if you don't, you open yourself up to the argument that you have not historically defended your copyright in court. Like, if Patagonia doesn't defend their trademark, not copyright, their trademark, in the future someone could appropriate it and then they get sued by Patagonia, and the court's like, well, you haven't defended your trademark in the past, so it shows that you have a history of not respecting your own rights, which means that these people aren't really like violating your rights or whatever. And it's a byproduct of like shitty trademark law. The smart thing to do here would just be to not fight the company Patagonia. You know what I mean? Not really a point in fighting this. Is that actually true? I've heard some people say it's a myth. It's true. It's not like a 100% done deal thing, but there's definitely an incentive for companies to defend their trademark, even in relatively unimportant like circumstances, you know? Patagonia told the media they're only suing me for $1. What they're actually trying to do is take away my name permanently and threaten me with more than $1 million in legal fees. This is not a brand conflict. This is a corporation trying to erase an activist. Again, listen, I wish Patagonia, the company, hadn't done this, but it's a brand appropriation thing. You should, I think the best thing to do is to put your hands up and be like, okay, I'll change the name a little bit, and like I won't like do the brand icon riffing or whatever. You know what I mean? She also said she named herself after the region, not the brand, like Be So Fucking For Real Girl. Yeah, you can't really say that when you're, yeah. In its own statement on Wednesday, Patagonia also said it tried to find a path forward that would allow Patagonia to continue their work while also protecting the Patagonia trademark. See, it's about, you have to establish a legal precedent of protecting the trademark. These conversations have included multiple proposals, each intended to support that path, along with ongoing dialogue, genuine efforts to avoid this ending up in court. Unfortunately, we couldn't reach an agreement. It seems like she's being kind of unreasonably stubborn here, which, I mean, again, I get, but, you know. Gebben said companies have an obligation under U.S. law to police their trademark. Yep. Obviously, she's being intentionally provocative. Yeah, of course. I'm just saying that I don't think the company Patagonia is being evil. It just seems like a byproduct of these systematic incentives. The drag queen accused the company of filing the lawsuit at the height of anti-LGBTQ plus politics and attacks on the environment. I think that's a huge stretch. This isn't about like piling up on a drag queen. It's not. She'll probably be able to raise a good deal of attention and money off of this, which is a good thing. But, you know, the drag queen denied using the logo, and the lawsuit cherry-picked a few examples of playful parody and fan art. There's a full statement. 500,000 likes! I underestimated the extent of this. Let's see. Betrayal of Patagonia's core mission, because if they're in business to save the home planet, why are they suing a climate activist? Be so for fucking real, girl. In the end, I had two choices: the erasure of my name, my advocacy, my community, and everyone I employ, or two, fight for myself and fight for us. I think this is a really bad move on her part. Like, Patagonia is going to wouldn't it have been nice? I feel like it might have been better if she had quietly come to agreement with Patagonia and then they made a joint statement about it or something. Like, Patagonia seems like they're being reasonably well-intentioned about this. You could probably do like a bit out of it. You could find a way to get publicity out of this without like prompting a lawsuit. They could have done a collab. They could have done a collab, probably. Patagonia is a pretty progressive company. I have no doubt they would be fine with, like, having branded drag queen merch, you know? Let's talk about that irreparable harm, because there's three things you need to know. First, their claims of trademark infringement. I've never used their logo, font, or anything from their brand on our merch website. Instead, the lawsuit cherry-picked a few examples of playful parody and fan art and tried to spin into those some sort of ass use their logo. Drag is built on parody, puns, and jokes, but I'm willing to never parody their logo ever again, aka never give them free PR ever again. Girl, be so fucking for real. AKA never give them, the company Patagonia, free PR ever again. Okay. Next, let's talk about the agreement, understanding that people are saying I broke. There was no agreement in 2022 when I was collaborating with a third party. Patagonia asked me to follow certain terms, and I did. That wasn't a broad agreement about my future. Lastly, my trademark application. I filed a trademark application not to compete with a multi-billion-dollar corporation, but because what happened to a drag queen named Lexi Love, whose name was taken from her by a third party after RuPaul's Drag Race. Within weeks, her booking canceled, music pulled, social media gone. I filed to make sure that never happened to me, not because of Patagonia, because of anyone. Now let's talk timing. Isn't it interesting the multi-billion-dollar corporation Patagonia chose this exact moment, the height of anti-LGBTQ plus politics and attacks the environment, assuming? What's the response from Patagonia? Is this it? Update on protecting our brand. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's slightly longer than that, you know? Over the past several years, we've tried to find a path forward that would allow Pattie Gonia to continue their work while protecting the Patagonia trademark. These conversations have included multiple proposals, each intended to support that path, along with ongoing dialogue, genuine efforts to avoid this ending up in court. However, we cannot reach an agreement. Patagonia has a responsibility to protect the company that generations of employees have helped build, not because name matters more than the people, name carries trust, so on, so on. Not about seeking financial gain. Okay, pretty boring statement there. What about here? Today, Patagonia filed a trademark law infringement lawsuit against the entrepreneur, drag queen, and activist Pattie Gonia. While we wish we didn't have to do this and actively engaged with Pattie for several years to avoid this, it's become necessary to protect the brand it's spent the past 50 years building. I don't understand how Vosh / the chat are siding with the corp on this. This is actually insane. Well, okay. It's not about siding with. Like, I wish Patagonia didn't do this. It's that the way trademark law works kind of requires them to be protective about their trademark identity in this way. And some of the stuff that Pattie Gonia is saying here is kind of like, attention grabbing isn't bad. There's nothing bad about being attention grabbing. It's like evocative in a kind of disingenuous way. Like, if the issue is stuff like this, you know, I'm interested in knowing what attempts at an agreement they made beforehand, because that to me would be like, I guess, the major factor in whether or not Patagonia engages in good faith here. You know what I mean? Someone said that it was fan art. Yes. So I would like to know specifically what Patagonia offered Pattie Gonia privately in an effort to avoid this outcome. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know what the conditions were. I'm curious about it. I don't know. You know, I don't really know, like, what because it's possible that maybe Patagonia actually is being really unreasonable behind the scenes, but they have allowed her to use that name for years and years. So it seems odd to me that they would decide to, like, pull the trigger off of a single, like, screenshot of fan art. You know what I mean? Like, why would Patagonia be fine with Pattie Gonia for years and years, but then just a random bit of fan art makes them decide to jump in? I'm not sure. I'd like to know. If it turns out there really is nothing but that, then fully in favor of Pattie Gonia here, you know? But let me see. Yeah, here we go. Unfortunately, in late 2020... Okay, here we go. We want Pattie to have a long and successful career, but in a way that respects Patagonia's intellectual property. Patagonia engaged in open dialogue with Pattie Gonia to discuss ways she continue her environmental and social advocacy, brand deals, and other work without infringing on her trademarks. We thought we'd reach an agreement, and for a while it worked. Unfortunately, in late 2024, Pattie Gonia started selling Pattie Gonia branded apparel online and continued to create and use versions of her logo. So that indicates it's not fan art, right? I don't know what examples, this is just a screenshot from like a being used in a paper. So I don't know whether this is even the thing that's really being referred to. It's, you know, you see Pattie Gonia merch. Pattie Gonia merch. I mean, if she has any infringing merchandise. I doubt that it's still publicly available, right? Yeah, it looks like the merch section of her store is down right now. Not down, but like completely sold out. They're not even listing any out of stock stuff. So I can't even see it, which suggests maybe click on collections. Really? Not even having the old stuff up? No. I mean, maybe it's always been like that. You know, maybe it's always been like that. Anyway, our outreach to Pattie asking her to stick to our agreement was refused. A subsequent note asking to discuss potential ways forward got no response. Then in September of 2025, Pattie Gonia filed a trademark application seeking exclusive rights to use the brand Pattie Gonia to sell clothing and apparel, promote environmental activism, engage in online marketing and endorsements, and more. These rights would overlap with the work we do and the products we provide, for which we have longstanding rights and trademark registrations. That's like an in the weeds thing. That's a details thing. To maintain our own rights, we must prevent others from copying our brands and logos. If we do not, we risk losing the ability to defend our trademarks entirely. Yeah. To put a finer point in it, we cannot selectively choose to enforce our rights based on whether or not we agree with a particular point of view. Inconsistent enforcement might prevent us from stopping entities like the oil and gas lobby, counterfeiters, hate groups, and other bad actors from using the Patagonia name and logo. Yeah, so to me, I guess it's just a matter of like, what was the merch and what was the prior agreement, and what like efforts did the company Patagonia make in this outreach? It's still possible Patagonia's in the wrong here. You know, I guess it'll come out in court because she seems to be fighting it, but you know. No. Queen Calicos, we're not saying the name Patagonia is the trademark infringing thing. Patagonia, the company, allowed Patagonia to exist for years. I mean, parody law is pretty strong. Parody law is strong. But there's a difference between parody and registering a trademark of a parody, right? There's probably a substantial difference legally between like, oh, you can make fun of a company, but if you're trying to register a trademark of the parody, now it's like, well, hold on, we're getting into like kind of overlapping licensing here a little bit. But again, without more information, I can only really speculate. I do think that some of the defenses that she's issued, like some of the explanations she's provided here, come across to me a bit disingenuous, you know? Like the whole how curious this is happening during a surge of anti-queer hatred or whatever. Like, come on. I don't think that's a motivating factor. What are the negative effects to a company that decides to do nothing about something like this? Well, they say it here, and it's true. To maintain our own rights, we must prevent others from copying our brands and logos. To put a finer point in it, we cannot selectively choose to enforce our rights based on whether we agree with a particular point of view. Inconsistent enforcement might prevent us from stopping entities like the oil and gas lobby, so on and so forth. If you don't defend your trademark, you can lose it, or functionally lose it. You can lose the ability to defend it. But yeah, again, it's a detail-oriented thing. If they're really going to fight it out in court, we'll find out the details, so, you know. Yeah, I do want to know what the back and forths are. Was there another inciting incident? Apparently, the Patagonia branded apparel that used versions of the Patagonia logo, and also her trying to register her name as a trademark. It happened to Apple in the mid-2000s. They lost the right to iPad in China because they didn't defend it. I think I remember hearing that. Somebody gave an Internet Archive link with some of the featured products from the website, but none of these seem to violate the trademark or the logo from Patagonia. So I'm assuming that whatever Patagonia is referring to with regards to the trademark violation in the logo, it's not like from this, you know? Just seems like regular merch. Try a more recent date. I'm just looking at a link. November 2024 then? Isn't that around the time the alleged violation took place? Nah, nothing here. 27 captures. I don't care enough to invest. I'm not going through every damn. If any of you can find the screenshot of the offending stuff, then, you know, go for it. I think that bottom right one we just saw, this one? No, I don't think so. There's nothing here violates the Patagonia logo. I don't think we know what the offending imagery is. Look at the photo in the article. This one? Oh yeah, but this is just the Oregonian using a random photo of her. I don't think they're alleging that these are the offending images, you know? Though they are using this image right here of what is allegedly fan art to make their point. I don't know what the actual merch is, you know, or the offending merch. The real question is, does Patagonia make good clothes? I mean, yeah, it's like tech hiking wear stuff, yeah. If there was a worse example, I imagine they'd use that photo. I mean, we can speculate. Anyway, looks like it's the stickers when looking it up. Do you have like an article indicating that, or Patagonia trademark merch? Yeah, I only see a couple of pictures here.
thrifted secondhand shirts and screen printed over them with new designs, making them one-of-a-kind pieces just for you. We have 3 different designs. We have Pattie Gonia Hiking Club.
Are these the ones that were listed on the website?
We have This is Pattie Gonia merch now. And we have Nature is Gay. We have them in lots of different colors. We have
These are nice shirts.
Sizes extra small to 3XL. We printed these with sustainable ink and worked with local small businesses to make this possible. Each shirt supports BIPOC and queer-led environmental organizations. And the best part is we save these t-shirts from a landfill. This is just a really happy moment because I love every single person involved. We got to support queer people in the process. And I finally have merch.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. Needs more info. I can't really say. Yeah.